Do you want to talk about Ye or do you want to talk about Hasan? I want to talk about Kanye West.
Okay.
What did you think about his whole outbreak today?
Seems like a guy that's kind of mentally ill, but what are you gonna do, man?
I don't
Wait, are you
I don't
black?
know. Yes. Destiny, who was in
Oh
Paris?
God. Oh man. All right. Okay.
Who was in Paris?
You know who was in Paris?
Niggas.
Yeah. Apparently it was Nazis, but what are we gonna do?
Do you want to talk about Ye or do you want to talk about Hasan? These are my two like
What am I gonna talk about
conversation pieces.
Hassan? What do I have to say about Hassan?
Mm, I feel like you're kind of coming at him at a place of insecurity.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like Hassan, like if I have to compare you two, Hassan is Tucker Carlson and you are a place where people can just talk. Does that make sense at all?
Not really, but hit me. What do you got? What do you got for me?
Shit. I feel like Hassan clearly states that he's just adjective propaganda, where you are where people who actually have more thought out ideas come and talk.
Yeah, I try to be.
Yeah, that's why like that's I feel like that's your main like issue with him. Like, nigga, he doesn't really fucking say anything that's like his own opinion. He's just like, this is leftist. This is right. Do you have you ever thought about social
Isn't that exactly
inequalities?
like what I say about him? Like the problem is if you go to his stream, you're basically just gonna get like the copy pasted like here are the copy pasted talking points of whatever fucking the progressives believe today.
Yeah, you do say that, but you don't give us like an alternative.
Well, when I beat Factorio, don't worry, we're gonna do so many more politics. Okay.
Bruh, I just started the. Actually, this might be your fault, cause I downloaded this shit for you.
Big mistake.
But
Oh no, vanilla
yeah, that is,
Factorio is fine. You'll have fun for like a week or two.
no, nigga, I started with the space
Oh,
exploration
that was
shit, so I
real
think you
dumb.
might have me for life.
You'll quit. You're not gonna understand this. Do you know how big your brain needs to be? And you have no Factorio experience at all in vanilla. How do you think you're gonna do space exploration?
Bro, it sounds like what you're trying to say is I need affirmative action for Factorio. Is that what you're saying, Destiny?
Bro, what I'm saying is affirmative action wouldn't be enough, okay? You need reparations plus affirmative action plus somebody to walk you through it, all right?
I hate you. Oh shit, that's funny. Um, yeah, okay. I like I had a whole thing. What's your problem with fashion?
I don't have a problem with it. I just don't give a about it.
Yeah, that means you have a problem with it because you
Doesn't
could
mean
be
I
a
have
lot cooler
a, doesn't mean I
if
have
you
a
liked fashion.
doesn't mean I have a problem with it. I just don't really care that much.
But what does that mean?
I just don't care.
Why?
Because I don't know. I just don't care that much. If I were to spend money on something or care about some shit, it'd probably be like souping up my car or getting a cooler car.
Why don't you like graphic tees? I think you just need to start with graphic tees
Well, I have
that
my
aren't
tees.
like DGG shit.
No, fuck that. I like my t-shirts. They're cute.
Would you ever wear a flannel?
I don't know. If there was some girl I was trying to smash and she was like super into that, maybe.
Jesus Christ. Okay, here I guess I look at Kanye West and I think of we have to look at him like an uncle with like dementia. What do you think about that take?
An uncle with dementia. I mean, I guess you could.
Like honestly, I look at this nigga now and like he was saying a lot of pro black shit somewhat back then, but like you can really see the remnants of somewhat his more conservative rooting because I guess he felt like he was white and coming from a community where I was like mostly surrounded by white people, like I can kind of correspond with that, but I don't know, it's weird seeing how it broke his fucking brain.
I don't know if it's a white thing that was breaking his fucking brain.
What do you think was breaking his brain?
If I had to guess, I would say he's probably a little bit on the spectrum, a little autistic. It feels like it just from all the early stories I heard about him and then the way that he acts. That's one thing. And then now it seems like he's got some bipolar or some shit going on. And then it seems like, and this is all just like guess because I don't follow his life as much as other people do, but it seems like that shit with fucking Kim like broke his fucking brain apart and hyper accelerated everything.
I
And
agree with
then
you.
combine that with the fact that like he is kind of a god, right? like richest black man in the world, one of the most famous musical artists of all time. Like it's pretty hard not to get a god complex when you've got that on your resume. So that probably didn't help. And then he's surrounded by a bunch of fucking yes men. Yeah, it's just like the perfect recipe for disaster with somebody with mental illness, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree. When you say he's like a god, I believe like I don't know, like you look at this nigga and you realize that he's just fucking vulnerable. Like it's like seeing a child. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I believe he still has like child brain. Like clearly he's an anti-Semite. The nigga said he loves Hitler. He said he loves Nazis, and it's honestly the most retarded shit I've ever seen in my life. I'm sorry. Should I say remedial or should I say moronic? But it's the most retarded shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, I really think Kanye West needs a lobotomy. Kanye West needs to be taken away from his kids. Like,
Jesus.
anything. But,
Didn't he already
what
lose
he's doing
his
right now.
Kids? I don't know what is the visit.
Not enough, clearly.
Okay, well.
Like, bro, like, this arc has been insane. Like, I know what you're saying when you're like, oh, if I did mushrooms this year, I'd be fucked. Because I literally, like, this is my first kind of year, like, or like my first like 6 months of watching you. Before I was like watching Hasan, and I'm like, oh, watching Destiny is base. You know what I mean? Like, I really fucking love your content.
Yeah, of course.
But like this shit is mind breaking. I'm like, did you do this? Are you the reason why Kanye West is a Nazi now, Destiny?
No, I don't think so. Although some people might want to blame me.
I think a certain person would want to blame you.
Who? Which? Mr. Redacted?
Yes, sir. Yo, I can't believe it. The first time you started talking to this guy, or like the first video I've actually seen of his, like the content that you reacted to was this thing where he like was arguing with his girlfriend and f***ing like a doll. Like,
yeah,
I watched that shit with my girlfriend. And how did you not know this nigga was gonna be like a shooter, or like could be Hitler or like anything else?
I mean, I thought he'd be weird publicly. I never thought he'd get that weird privately, I guess.
Being weird publicly is already like a huge step.
Yeah, but I'm a streamer. Everybody's fucking weird in this world publicly.
Not at all. Nobody's ever that weird.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of weird fucking people. A lot of crazy fucking people on my stream.
Yes, but I don't think I've never seen anything like this. You're
yeah,
coping,
no, me
bro.
neither. No, I mean, I haven't either. This guy's exceptionally crazy. I'm not going to deny that, you know.
Why do you like interacting with people like that?
They're interesting. I like people that are not boring.
Do you really like when people try to destroy your life?
Sometimes, as long as I feel like I can win. Yeah.
Where do you feel like you're on to coming out at the end of this shit?
I think I'll be okay. It was a little bit irritating
Yeah.
in the beginning, but I think we're fine.
Does everything, like every type of like experience feel like that?
Not every type, but bullshit ones do. And I'm usually like a pretty decent person, so I'm usually not getting like f***ed over by weird shit. Because I don't like do shit, so I'm pretty safe most of the time.
What?
I don't
Are
do
you
fucking
serious
shit.
or are you
Yeah. What do you mean, am I serious?
Bro, there's so many fucking crazy people who are in your life.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm not worried about like usually like rape allegations and shit because I'm not like a rapist, so I don't like usually have to. It's just not something I think about. Like, oh no, what if somebody catches me on like for rape at some point, or like shit like that.
Yeah, I guess if that's the worst thing you could do. Like, people could say you're probably could kill somebody, or like you abuse somebody, like somebody accused you of you like abusing them before, or like you being like a Nazi. Like, I think those things are very comparable.
I'd rather get accused for being like a Nazi than like a rapist. I think I don't think those are that comparable. But I know what you mean. What's the point? What do we get? What's the point? What are we getting to?
Picking your mind. Here's the last thing I'll leave you with.
Yeah, go for
I think the best thing that your stream has taught me is saying true.
Yeah. Okay.
True is the best defense I've ever like found in my life.
Gotcha. Based. Okay.
All right, love you, bro. Peace.
Bye.
Do you know about the people on Twitter that say to Cubans in Miami, your grandfather had slaves? What the f is up with that? Why are they saying that? That's insane. Do you know?
Yeah, we deal with a few of those on stream. Yeah.
Where do they even get that idea? That's insane. Like it's slaves
The
in like
idea is that if
1950.
you're in the United States and you're not like a communist and you're from Cuba, they call you gusano. What they basically say is you probably had slaves and you were opposed to Castro's revolution or something, just dumb shit like that. But it's all like a bunch of white kids that say it. Like, I don't know, it's just internet socialists being cringe.
Yeah. And then one last thing, and then I'll go. By the way, thank you for having me on. I'm a genuine, like, huge ass fan right now.
No problem.
Do you know about the way that, okay, your Cuban family, they watch, I would imagine, media in Spanish, right?
No. My mom, I feel like some Cubans that came over, or there are some immigrants that come over that want to be very, 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 very American.
Super.
So they, yeah, my mom was like that. Like she didn't teach us Spanish or anything. When I would go in the summers with my grandma. We're in Hialeah, and I would chill with her, and she would watch all Spanish shows. So like some of the old fucking soap operas, Carita de Ángel or whatever, like just random fucking shit. I remember watching on her TV, but I couldn't understand it. I didn't know what it meant. But all of my immediate family all consume all their media in English, American. They're very, very, very American. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. My dad's like that. He's like super Americanized. Well, okay, but my grandmother, my stepfather, like all these other people only speak Spanish still. Dude, the way that political what's the word I want? Propaganda is done in Spanish. Like when I talk to my only Spanish speaking relatives that are intelligent and politically active, the things they believe are like they don't know about the transing the kids. They're not talking about that in Spanish. All they say is like, oh, they just keep calling Biden a socialist and saying that they want to impose socialism, and like they literally don't know about the transing the kids shit. So a lot of people I think that like the red wave that just happened in Miami, people are going, oh well, of course, well the Cubans are super conservative, and now you have all this stuff that's super progressive, and that's going to terrify them away. But like, dude, the Spanish speaking people literally don't even like that's not brought up. They're still just pandering to fear of socialism. Did you
that's
know that like the
probably
propaganda is totally different?
Well, yeah, of course. When you've got people coming from fucking, because if you're a Cuban in the United States, all you hear are horrible fucking things about Castro and living in fucking Cuba. And if you still have family there, they're living like the worst, poorest fucking life ever.
Well, do you know what it's like now?
Do I know what it's like now? I think that they do okay, but I'm pretty sure their tech is really old. I think their cell phone shit is like pretty fucked. A lot of people work like
They're on 5 hours of electricity a day, bro.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, did you hear about the I'm sorry, go on. I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Well, no, I just like white kids in the United States will just point to the fact that like 96% of them are doctors and like 100% of them are literate, and they think Cuba's some fucking like paradise for brown people. But the reality is that every brown person that comes north to the United States probably fucking hates socialism. People coming from Venezuela, people coming from Cuba, like if you tell them that you want to like do socialism, they're gonna look at you like you're fucking insane. But
oh yeah,
but I mean like it's all white kids who are talking about it in the U.S. Like, what are you gonna do?
I mean, yeah, I kind of do want to know what to do because, like, you were, well, now, yeah, you can't do shit. But, like, a year ago, you reported him for calling you Gusano, and, like, they're like, no, that's nothing. It's not against the terms of service. It's like, goddamn. No, dude, Cuba's super bad. Did you hear about the tankers that exploded?
Nope.
Oh, fuck. Oh, dude, it's really bad. Oh, fuck. They're on the last of their credit with the world. They have no credit. Their monetary policy collapsed. They tried to implement a second currency that they tried to peg to the dollar, to only use in the tourist areas. So you go to like the tourist areas of Havana, Maradero, where the resorts are, and you would use this $1 currency. And the idea was so that the wealth doesn't trickle out to the rest of Cuba because they want to control monetary policy. It failed within, I think, 3 years. It's called El Chavito.
Okay.
So that collapsed. Now
this happened I think like a year ago, right? Or a little bit longer than that maybe? Yeah, okay. I remember reading about because Cuba was running into so at this time Cuba was running into a lot of economic problems, and people in the United States were like, "Oh my god, it's the blockade, it's the blockade, it's the blockade."
Which makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, because that had been a thing for a long time. But it was because
it was literally there because it was starting to be lifted. This currency.
Yeah, there was they did something where they decoupled or they recoupled, but I understand what you're talking about. It had to do with their the way that their currencies was related to the USD changed dramatically, and that was one of the reasons why their economy was having so many problems. But everybody just blamed it on the United States. Yeah, but I vaguely remember what you're talking about.
Well, it's yeah. They used it because of all the tourists that were coming in. They pegged it to the dollar. They still had the peso. But like if you let's say you go, because like they hitchhike there, it's normal. So let's say you hitchhike in the morning out to Havana from Artemisa, which is like 2 hours, and you come home and you have your chavitos. You can't use them in the store, where I mean there's nothing in the store anyway. But like that's a real thing, by the way. You go to the store there's like a fuck ton of crackers and shit,
Yeah,
but there's
I've
no meat.
heard
The fridges are empty. It's
stuff
real.
like this. Yeah.
This is not propaganda. I've been there.
Yeah, or like you've
So
got like
they-
because of the way that like their markets and shit are set up, or the wages are set up, you've got like doctors will work as like cabbies and shit, and they make like 10 times as much money doing cab fares as they would doing like being doctors and shit. That they're like their shadow market, their shadow economy is like really crazy in Cuba. Yeah.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, that's like what Vox said in that video. They got really, really famous. But like literally everybody in Cuba to survive. I think. Okay, is it unreasonable for me to come to the conclusion from seeing Cuba, where everybody has to have a side hustle? Everybody like okay, let's say there's a tree with fruit in your yard. That fruit's not yours. You can't take it. You can't sell it. But you still do. You get like a blender sent from America. You make little juices and you sell them for pesos on your front yard. That's like a little shadow business. Or you cut people's hair. Or like the biggest thing is the mules that, and I don't mean drug mules, like mules that send from America 40 to 80 pounds of stuff. Now that you're in Miami, do you see those places on like every block that it's PAQBA, Cuba?
Oh no, I don't.
Or do you ever see the signs that say Envios a Cuba or Envios, ENVIOS?
Nope. But I like hang
Doesn't
out
matter.
like I live in Little Havana, and then I go east to Brickell or South Beach.
you-
These are like the only places I go to. So yeah.
Oh, you're in okay. Well, Little Havana's like blown up huge.
Kind of a
Sorry,
little.
I'm not
Still
trying to
kinda,
dox you.
No, you're good. Docs away. My docs is all posted online anyway, so fuck me. My parents live in Homestead too, so it's funny you brought that place up. The boonies.
Well, Homestead has blown up too, but like we have all the people from over. I'm 7, yeah, 7 years clean. But I used to buy heroin in Overtown, and like
Jesus.
now, like that's where you get your haircut. You can't find heroin there anymore,
Okay.
because all those people are in Homestead now. They got bought up, but whatever. So in Cuba, they have all this shit. The currency collapsed, and they have no global credit right now. So they have very little people that'll give them petroleum, because they can't access their own offshore reserves. They don't have the infrastructure for it. Even though there are offshore reserves that, like in a capitalist system, they would be able to get. But so they had in Cienfuegos, which is a port city, 12 big tankers. One catches on fire. They send in firemen. It explodes. 77 people get hurt. A bunch of firemen die. And then they're like, oh, fuck, we can't put it out. So the next one catches, and the next one catches, and the next one catches, and the next one catches. There were already rolling blackouts. So the hurricane, when it passed, you remember the big hurricane that came through Central Florida?
Yeah.
Very recently. Very
Yeah.
recently.
It didn't. Yeah, it went through. It missed Miami completely, but yeah, I know. Yeah. This is like a
It
month
did
ago.
miss. Yeah. Well, it hit Cuba dead on. And the next day, there were a bunch of articles by these fucking socialist people saying, oh, look how good. Because all the articles said, oh, Cuba fixes their power system after hurricane damage in just a day. Which is bullshit, because there was already, my grandma has been there all year. She spent 6 months or 8 months out of this year in Cuba. There were blackouts every day, rolling blackouts. You get 5 hours of electricity a day. And even when the electricity comes back on, there's these big power surges. So they can't even like use the electricity at all. They really can't. Like they got the water's not clean when the electricity's not on. Everything's fucked. So now they have no petroleum. They don't really have anyone that's willing to trade with them. They have no global credit. Their currency is collapsed. Like their secondary currency. They're allowing people to use the US dollar again. Like not on paper legally, but like, yeah.
Effectively, everyone knows. Yeah.
Yeah, which has always been a global sort of reserve currency, and
Yeah.
like even in Cuba back in the day.
I've heard
it
of
was
places
used.
like even in Vietnam and shit. I think there are people that will still buy and sell shit sometimes in USD. I think there are some touristy places. I think in
Costa Rica.
Europe even that will take USD, even like in the eurozone. I think, but in real addresses. But I don't remember. Don't quote me on that. But
I've lived in Europe. I didn't see that. But like Costa Rica and Ecuador, the U.S. dollar is an official currency.
I think in Cancun, I think I could pay in USD.
I believe that. I believe. Yeah, for sure in Cancun. So anyway, everything's super fucked in Cuba. The only thing I can see is like, oh, this is literally the worst it's ever been. So there's gonna have to be a sort of USSR style collapse because like they can't even pay the police officers right, and that's sort of the last. Like that's what my grandparents say. Oh, they pay the police officers better, so they'll always enforce it, but like they can't even do that right now. So I think pretty soon we're gonna see Cuba, the regime collapse, not in a violent war, but in a sort of like, we give up on this because they're fucked. But okay, is it unreasonable of me to think that based on looking at Cuba, that the base state of humanity is sort of capitalism or trade, which I guess you could call capitalism, but not in the exact same way, since everybody there naturally hustles, even though literally if you get caught, you get sent to prison, no trial. Like, is that not proof that man is naturally more capitalistic than communalist?
I don't know if that. I don't like saying naturally more one or the other. I'm not sure. I mean, I think capitalism works because market forces are real, and I think it works for a whole bunch of scientific reasons, not for like human nature reasons. That's what I would say.
Well, everybody hustles. My uncle.
I think the big
My uncle
this
went
is
back
to not
and
get
forth.
like boring into like econ hardcore.
I don't think it was boring at all.
Okay, I think capitalism works really effectively because market forces are very quick to adapt to new conditions, and central bodies are very, very slow and cumbersome to adapt to new conditions. So like when shit is getting like really fucked in a planned economy, it's so fucking hard for the government to account for that and to shift and reallocate resources efficiently and effectively. Whereas in free markets, it's so easy for capital to flow from one area to another area if there's a change in supply or demand. I think that's why capitalist economies have so much more tenacity compared to socialist economies or communist or planned economies, I should say. The more planning, the harder the calculation problem, essentially.
Because you can't stop market forces.
Yeah, and just because it's really hard. There's just a lot of shit to like keep tabs on when shit is getting fucked. I think fuck, I need to quote, hold on.
Go ahead.
Can I find it? Fuck. I feel like there was a study that came out recently. This is in 2003. Fuck. Who just joined?
People can just
That's
join.
Tabor. No, only people with things.
No, yeah, I know.
Oh, wait, it was this. Wait, was this really a 10-year-old thing when I saw this? Damn. Hold on. There's an argument that was made that famines have never happened in a democratic area. That famines are largely a result of a failure of planning, and that when you have or authoritarian illiberal governments that suppress the media. But as long as you have the ability to have people reporting on things and have like companies able to respond to problems, that you typically don't have famines. So famines are like problems with planning. And I think the study, when they looked at like all of the famines that happened across the world, and basically like 95% of every famine just happened in a place that had a illiberal style of government. Fuck, I wish I could find this original study. It'd be nice to have this, but.
Huh. But that doesn't count like what we talk about now in the West of like food deserts and shit like that, because that's literally not famine. That's just like
food. I think food deserts are largely a myth. I don't think that's true.
No?
No.
So like when you lived in Nebraska, there was nothing like that?
Firstly, a lot of people don't even know what food desert means. A lot of people think food desert is like lack of access to food, but it's actually lack of access to healthy food.
Healthy food.
Yeah. But also, I don't think food deserts are real because like I think what happens is when you stick a grocery store with a bunch of like vegetables and shit in areas, there's another paper on this. I should be saving these. But when you stick a bunch of like vegetables and shit in areas with like a bunch of poor people, they just don't buy it because they don't eat that kind of food. They don't care. They eat fast food.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, this is an R1.
So you think it's more? Oh shit! Yo, wait, that's a based ass take. Hold on.
What? Well, it's not based. It's kind of sad because when you're poor, your education around food is like really shitty.
No, that part is based, but it's based as fuck to realize that it might just be market conditions that are creating what we might call food deserts, and it's more of a economic like necessity rather than lack of availability. Because, like,
Yeah.
dude, we have fucking transport. There's no reason that anywhere in America you shouldn't be able to get.
Yeah, and
something
that might
like
be
it.
my privilege, like speaking, maybe. But I've been in a lot of different parts of the country. Maybe not like I haven't been in like the most projects, but like usually you're in an area that has like a fucking Walmart with fruit or something. I can't, but I'm sure there must be some areas of the U.S. that are like really fucked in terms of availability to healthy food. But I want to say that the lack of vegetables and fresh fruit available in those areas are usually market forces responding to demand. That like people just aren't buying them in those areas, so people just eat like
No, yeah, that's a super fucking base take. Like,
Well,
shit.
it's not base. It's kind of sad.
It's not
All
base
right,
that people eat
this
bad.
talk is approaching 30 minutes.
What's wrong
this
with
isn't
that?
Fuck,
fair
I
to the
didn't
other
realize. I'm
chatters.
sorry.
Wow.
Final thoughts?
You going to Georgia tomorrow?
No, I have a job.
No, Destiny.
Yeah, I am. Damn. Just got
Is it full?
It's pretty full. Why? Do you live in Georgia, or do you live in Miami?
I
Oh, you
live in Florida. Yeah,
Florida,
but I'm free. I would be down to go.
Well, if you
there's
didn't sign up,
availability.
it's too late. So, but no, it's fucking full.
alright.
Okay, we have like 300 fucking people going.
Jeez. Okay, all right.
Destiny, in general, prices of, let's say, veggies on those places are expensive. What's your market analysis on that? I just don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't think that there
They're
are
probably
places in the
expensive
United
because
States.
there's not enough demand.
Yeah, I don't even believe that. I don't think there are places where you go to buy raw vegetables and like fucking like heads of lettuce are like $20 each or some shit. I just don't believe that. I think fast food is always going to be, not almost, I'm sorry. Fast food is always going to be more expensive than buying produce and shit at a grocery store. I don't believe you. But
All right. Go to Cuba. See it for yourself. But like, don't just go to a resort. Like, see the shitty parts.
I'll think about it. Okay.
That's it. All right. Nice talking to you.
Bye.